One thing that we're having trouble in the United States of America is squatters now. A lot of these cities are cracking down. They are pretty much taking into account putting laws into place to crack down on these people who are coming in and taking over people's properties. And yeah, you might ask yourself, how is this still possible today? How are people moving into people's houses and they're not knowing it, and these people is taking shop into a house and claiming as their resident? It happens more than you think because a lot of people are not really in tune on their properties. They probably own a main primary house. The other house may be an investment house or a family house, and they probably be renting out at one point. Sometimes they don't. They haven't went back over to do the work. Sometimes it sits for months, and bingo, people break in. Now you got a squatter there. Now you got to prove that this is not your tenant. And in this video here, a young person a young teen here kind of have a creative way to deal with a squatter. Let's check it out.
From the outside, this home in suburban Bethesda, Maryland looks like a dream, worth more than $2 million. 3 stories, 6 bedrooms, a big yard. But not everything is what it seems. Look closer and you'll see signs of trouble.
House next door, we've always kind of lived in its shadow. It snakes around the back of our property.
19-year-old Chen grew up right next door.
We're a neighborhood that likes to help each other out. We watch each other's houses when we're away. All of the doors and windows have been boarded up.
Says that's why he noticed last summer when he was home on break from college that something was off at the house next door.
We first noticed strange activity around July 4th weekend when we saw a U-Haul truck back up the long driveway in the middle of the night, and we thought that someone had bought the place and was moving in. It wasn't until some of our other neighbors next door informed us that they were actually not the new buyers.
The home had been foreclosed and the bank owned it. A woman named Tamika Good and some others had moved into the house.
They would always try to avoid being seen. There was more of a desire to just understand what was happening, so that's why I kind of took matters into my own hands and sought to take action myself.
Ian, who's studying government at William & Mary, started by looking at the law.
The laws seem to be almost non-existent, and even more towards...
Well, I'm going to stop right there. I still haven't heard any evidence how they know whether or not the house was still purchased from the foreclosure people, or because even houses that get foreclosed on, the owners do have the right to come back to those properties and get those properties. Okay, so it's not clear to me how that worked on that end with there, because even though they're there, how did they know that they're not allowed to be there? But let's just keep watching.
Encouraging this type of behavior rather than deterring it.
Property law and property rights vary from state to state. And in Maryland, when it comes to squatting rights or laws about squatters, it's very sparse. There's actually no direct law about it. Other states like New York or Arizona have created laws that create a clear guideline as to what a squatter is and what a squatter isn't. Because you want to strike a balance between what are the rights of a landlord and what are the rights of a tenant.
Squatting has been a problem across the country. The National Rental Home Council pinpoints the highest concentrations of complaints in states like Georgia, Florida, and Texas. One such case was from Patty Peoples in Jacksonville, Florida, who found out the hard way that squatters had broken in and taken over one of her investment properties.
I called 911, and as I'm describing to the officer that there may be somebody that had broken and entered into my house, out walks a young woman, and she said, well, I rented this property yesterday. It only got worse. I own this house.
It doesn't matter. Yes. Excuse me.
If you touch me again, I have every right to be in this house.
You don't have every right to be in the house at all.
I do, ma'am.
You do not.
You
do not. I'm not touching you, Mike.
You are touching me, and this lady is touching me.
We're blocking you from coming in the house.
You are.
God.
Believe it or not, the police officer told me, I will arrest you if you do this again. They have the right to privacy. I cannot tell you the frustration I felt.
Adele Andaloro went through something similar when she says squatters took over a home she inherited in New York City. The confrontation caught on camera by our station WABC.
Why is it that I have to leave and he doesn't have to leave?
Because technically he can't be kicked out. We need to go to court.
At that time in New York City, squatters had tenant rights after 30 days, making this a landlord-tenant dispute. Her case did push New York state lawmakers to change rental laws to exclude squatters. In many cases, squatters target vacant or investor-owned properties where they can go unnoticed for longer periods of time.
In Maryland, once a person has established residency, meaning they've been there for at least 30 days, it's very difficult for civil measures to kick that person out. You can't change the law.
That's weird. Once they are established 30 days of resident, how you know when they got there, sir? How you know when they got there? They could have got there 1 day prior. They could have got there 50 days prior. How you know, sir? That makes no sense. Our laws are dumb and stupid, people. Dumb and stupid. It should be just as simple. If you're a tenant, show me your lease agreement. Okay, take it to court. Do what you got to do. If you supposed to tenant, you don't have no lease agreement. Now, homeowner, do you have a lease agreement? Oh, I don't have a lease agreement. I never rented to them. Okay. Do you have any how can I say utilities in your name? You gotta have something. You gotta have something. If they don't have those things, they're squatting and they should be out of their house that day.
You can't turn off the heat or the water.
Ian says about 2 weeks after Tamika Good moved in, he reached out to the realtor for the house, who gave him permission to start the legal process to remove the squatters.
I began by knocking on the door, posting some no trespassing signs, really just trying to identify whoever was living there.
In most states, it's prosecutors who bring criminal charges against other people. But Maryland's a little unique because citizens can actually file claims in court. Ian Chen did just that.
And I filed statement of charges for trespassing and burglary.
How would you describe the nature of her residence there?
Making use of an abandoned property, which isn't a crime necessarily.
Alex Webster and Tom Moronic represent Tamika Good.
Tell me about Tamika Good. Who is she? Describe her.
Well, Miss Good is a Baltimore native. She's a really nice person.
What does she do for work?
Well, she is a mother. I don't know exactly what she does for work because we haven't gotten to that deep detail of, that. We mostly try to keep it focused on to the case.
As far as you know, when did Miss Good take up residence in the house?
Well, since this is an ongoing investigation or litigation, I wouldn't be able to discuss that on live TV.
There's, in any case that we take on, obviously there's certain facts that may come up in court, but it's safe to say she had been there for some time.
They say Good lived in the house with 3 other people. In late January, a judge convicted Good of trespassing and burglary and sentenced her to 90 days behind bars. Good went to jail, but began her appeal.
She believes she's not guilty, obviously. Why?
We're going to be addressing in court, but she pled not guilty because she felt she did not commit a crime.
She served less than 2 weeks before posting a $5,000 appeal bond and being released from jail. I think it's not enough.
The kicker was still to come. As soon as Good was released from jail, Ian says she went right back to the house.
We spotted her on security camera walking back through the snow in the same clothes she wore during her trial. We were all shocked.
Was she told that she...
A lot of this is weird to me. I mean, completely weird. Even if the house went through foreclosure, foreclosure have this thing where they have local companies come through to winterize the house. Not only do they come winterize the house, they'll probably come back once a month or something like that to view these properties, walk through them, blah, 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 blah. Because when you go on the kitchen countertop, you always see a sheet there. That sheet has the who came, the date they came. So you're saying that this house was foreclosed and no one ever came back to the house? Very suspicious to me.
Couldn't return to the home?
Well, to be candid, she was given an order to return back to the home to remove her property from the home. So,
but she was ordered to vacate the property.
Yes, but that's again civil matter versus the criminal matter.
Ian went back to court and filed a new round of charges against Good, once again for trespassing and burglary.
We're here in the backyard of the over 7,000 square foot mansion, and every first floor door and window has been boarded up.
Good and the others did finally leave the home in February. Video from inside shows some furniture left behind, some walls painted black. One other person has been charged and is awaiting trial. Tamika Good is set to head to court for her second trial at the end of this month.
How do you explain to someone, that a property owner, that someone has the legal right to just come into a home and occupy it?
The only way to initiate this change would be through legislation.
Ian says the laws do need to change in Maryland and elsewhere to protect homeowners.
All the credit to Ian Chen. But if a teenager has to find a workaround to get a squatter out of a home, something's wrong with the system.
This is an issue that affects all neighborhoods in the United States, red or blue, urban or rural. This issue affects everybody. And until it happens to you, you would never even think about it.
Well, it happens more than what you think. I was with a realtor some years ago. She was showing me a number of properties, suspect type properties in maybe D neighborhoods and stuff like that. Properties I don't buy personally, but I do got other partner friends of mine who love properties like that. So I was just looking, and we pulled up to one of these houses, and she said, "Hold a second, for a second, Antonio. Let me get my gun." I said, "Get your gun." She said, "Well, this guy here, he's been coming in here squatting." I said, "Don't worry about it. We don't have to even go in that house." And it happens. This house was vacant. And even she told me at a couple other houses that some guy squatted. She said, "Just pay me something. Pay me $100 a month or something like that." It's like, wow. I mean, just pay you $100 a month. I mean, wow. And I can't believe people would deal with stuff like this. And these squatter laws, these squatters are out there, and you have to beware. And if you're going to become a landlord and you got rental properties, keep those houses filled. If the house is not filled, have cameras on the door and have no trespassing. And I think for houses that's going to be deserted for a certain time, maybe it's some type of website that they can go on for that city to put their property on their website, say this property is vacant and it's non-occupant or whatever, trespassing, whatever. So if anything's ever happened, this website, this property been put on the website, and it's been stated to the community that, boom, no one's allowed to stay there, whatever the case may be. So they got to come up with something, and I know that they are, but this is a headache, guys. Squatters are out there, and beware. At least this young kid here knew the laws and took action. So don't forget to subscribe to the channel, guys. Leave a comment at the bottom of the page. What you think about the squatters laws? What do you think about people squatting in people's houses and getting away with it? I want to hear you guys' thought about it, and what would you do about it? And finally, but not least, give me a thumbs up, people. Thumbs up, like the video. Let's do deals.